Amber, you learned today that bus drivers are keeping track of those breaking the law.
College Station ISD transportation officials tell me they are continuing to see more people ignore the school bus stop signs, even as kids are crossing the street. Talked to a mother earlier today, and she tells me she has seen this happen multiple times this year alone. Elena Leszewski's children ride the school bus every day. She's seen firsthand the number of drivers who ignore the bus stop signs.
At least once a week, whenever the red lights come on, people will come and just go straight past it, especially if they're on the other side of the street. And we even live right next to the police station, and people still don't care.
Bus drivers in College Station say they're seeing more drivers ignore school bus signals.
They're so taken aback when somebody just disregards those lights. It's like seeing your child crossing and that vehicle not stopping is just heartbreaking.
The school district keeps track of how many people zoom by, and in just one day, they counted 70 cars.
Tells me that a lot of people don't understand when that bus is stopped and those lights are going, you need to completely stop until those lights stop flashing.
It would be horrible. I mean, they're so little. Elementary kids, it doesn't take much to hurt them, and the cars, I don't want to think about that.
It is the law to stop for those red flashing lights, and if you don't, regardless of which way you're going, if you don't, that's a $1,000 fine. Live here in College Station, Amber Treybig, News 3. Okay guys, I'm here in the spooky cellar actually. It's a little chilly, I had to go grab my jacket, but this is the perfect temperature for wine, correct?
Yes, it ages very well, just right there at cellar temperature.
Yes, and all of these barrels, they're all full with wine, but I know there is science. Been a blast. I got to taste some wine. I got to learn a lot about the history of this building. And your 40th anniversary is coming up, correct?
Yeah, so we're celebrating this whole year. We've been celebrating our 40th anniversary.
And it's October, which means some spooky experiences. And this spooky cellar tour is going to be a big hit. But there's already some people here filling in corner where I actually have Jordan DeBeer with me. So Jordan, you're a huge Aggie basketball fan. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think we definitely break that 0-3 streak in the Sweet 16 tonight, for sure, without a doubt.
Yes, I know. The Sweet 16, that is a huge deal. Expecting a lot of people out here. That's kind of why you're here early?
Yep, here early, but, we know for a fact that, if we can play through our bigs, shoot the ball well tonight, if we can control that pace, without a doubt, we get home court advantage here in San Antonio in next week.
Yes, exactly. Exciting times here in Aggie land. Are you expecting them to win, or?
Oh, without a doubt we're going to win tonight. Not even a question. I really think, if Ho can shoot well from the perimeter, Williams plays that good defense he's been playing, we got it in the bag, without a doubt.
So do you plan on staying here and watching it the entire time, of course?
All night. We're here all night. Let's go, Ags. Gig 'em.
Of course. Did you get to go to any of the games here?
Went to a couple, but, I'd much rather sit on my couch, drink a couple beers, and watch the game from there. I'm more than happy to do that. But been watching these Ags all season. Have no doubt that we can do it.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Now, not only are the basketball team and the fans getting ready for the game, but I was talking to staff earlier today, and they tell me they have been prepping all day for tonight's game. I'll have more about that tonight at 5:30. This is a sound that people who live near Gibbons Creek, like Alan Waltz, are quite familiar with.
As you can see it flowing this way like that, it was just rushing across the road like that. And I was hoping not to get swept away.
Property owners nearby say this type of flooding happens a lot. I'm standing here in about ankle-deep water, but over there by the fence, it's about a foot deep.
Stalls were flooded for the horses, so we've had to dig out holes and let the water try to drain out, and it's going to be a while. So they'll be pasturing for a while.
Drivers who pass over Gibbons Creek daily say the water rises quick.
I was here about 2. I came 2:44 and it was open. And then when I came back 45 minutes later, there was about 75 foot of water at 6 inches.
The water has receded, but Walt says the reoccurring flooding could be dangerous to drivers.
If someone driving through here at night not realizing what kind of water is on the road, hopefully no accidents occur.
In Grimes County, Amber Treybig, News 3. The sound of birds and the gravel beneath your feet. All signs of nature that can brighten your day, until you come across this on your afternoon hike.
When I saw the coral snake, I actually turned around and ran in the opposite direction.
Cecilia Ramsey says just this week she's seen 3 snakes while walking her dog in Lick Creek Park.
I've told several people, and they're always asking me, why would you go back? And I just like being outside, and I enjoy this park. It's a really beautiful park.
According to wildlife expert Mark Sutter, copperheads aren't the only snakes we have to worry about. There are 5 venomous snakes that slither around in the Brazos Valley.
Most of them have a triangular head, like the copperheads and the water moccasins. and the rattlesnakes. The only exception would be the coral snake group.
I saw a copperhead one day. He was actually standing on the tail of a snake the other day. And so then I saw a coral snake.
Sutter says as long as you don't bother them, they won't bother you.
They're part of the healthy habitat, so just make a wide circle around it, avoid it, and you'll be fine. And it'll go on its way as soon as you're gone.
Cheryl Carter grew up in Castle Heights and says she remembers her parents talking about the old Grandview Cemetery as a little girl.
She was born and raised here, and my mom too. She passed away, rest her soul. But if she would have been living, she could have actually told you more about it too.
But nearly century-old headstones and crosses aren't the only things marking this land. The 10-acre property is up for sale.
I know it's a lot of people that have been buried there a long time. So if they selling it, what they gonna do with the bodies?
Although this side of the property cannot be touched, the real estate agent is hoping the other 5 acres on this side is attractive enough to catch the eye of a potential buyer. The property has been on the market for 4 months and is going for $439,000.
What? Well, you know that's a lot of money.
Bob Holmes, who oversees the City of Bryan cemeteries, said he has never heard of a cemetery going up for sale.
I don't know. It doesn't happen with the City of Bryan. I can't imagine who would want to buy it because you got to maintain it forever. So, or at least you should.
We all need to get together and, discuss it and see if, they can go to the board or something and talk about it.
For now, the property is still up for grabs. In Bryan, Amber Treybig, News 3. The National Guard and helicopter search and rescue technicians from Texas Task Force 1 were put to the test.
We're out here at the Rellis campus doing some scenario training, so we have an area set up where we would run it like a real incident.
The groups loaded the helicopter and were taken to a nearby field where they would then perform rescues similar to scenarios from Hurricane Harvey.
Trying to recreate those scenarios in a training environment and exercising some decision-making skills and using different pieces of equipment, different techniques, and seeing what works best.
Every 90 days, the crews have certain skills they have to accomplish.
It's one of those skills that if you don't keep up on it, you'll get a little bit rusty on it, you won't be as sharp.
Which, in a time of disaster, every second counts.
It's important that we're sharp on our skills and continue to practice and have realistic training scenarios so that when we do go on deployments and make the calls that we're ready.
At Texas A&M, Amber Treybig, News 3. A constant flow of visitors making their way to the quaint, quiet resting place of Barbara Bush.
Just listening to the birds this morning, and the sun, it's just really overwhelming of beauty.
It was the first time that guests like Phyllis Barker from Bryan could see the former First Lady's gravesite following her funeral.
It's landscaped so beautifully with the flowers and then her pearls on the wreath.
Her grave, a symbolism of the kind and honest woman that others like Sylvia McMillan aspire to be.
You see the colors in her flowers? It's just beautiful, simply beautiful. And that's what we should be. That's what all needs to be, simplicity and joy.
Guests brought flowers and took pictures.
It was just very, very impressive, and we'll miss her. She was a fine lady.
Guests like Manuchi Ziari from Iran are taking in every moment as they look back on the life and legacy of Mrs. Bush.
I pray for all the First Ladies from now on. Follow her step. It's not easy. It's not easy.
It didn't matter who you were, where you came from, what language you spoke. It was a gathering again together. It was beautiful. Really beautiful.
In College Station, Amber Treybig, News 3. Stella Bosquez noticed a few bees buzzing near her home in Bryan.
And then I would hear some little humming, and then I saw more bees, and I thought, okay, I might have a problem.
She called Chris Barnes, a local beekeeper, to check out her home. That's when he found an entire hive hiding out of sight.
Bees will naturally start to swarm in the spring and look for new homes. And sometimes the homes they find are not where people want them.
This honeycomb right here was just extracted from Stella's house, but they tell me that they've seen up to 18 feet of solid honeycomb that's been extracted from homeowners right here in Bryan. Just this week, Barnes plans on extracting 6 hives in the Brazos Valley.
We're all really busy.
Barnes says if you do come across bees, don't spray them.
it will turn bees that are normally fairly docile and get them a little upset and angry to where they will come out and sting people.
For Stella, she's just glad her newfound guest will be leaving. And Brian, Amber Treybig, News 3. Donna Meek dreamed of the day her son Austin would walk across the stage at Southwestern University with a diploma in hand.
You know, I knew he was going to do good things.
But a recent health scare left her bedridden hundreds of miles away from the graduation in Georgetown.
My son said that he wasn't going to walk if I wasn't there, and that wasn't going to happen. He worked too hard.
The nursing staff at Baylor Scott & White heard about the problem and came up with a solution. They live-streamed the graduation in her hospital room.
About to watch him walk. It's just amazing.
Her surgeon even pushed back her surgery a few hours, just so she could watch her son.
So we have a whole OR team and a surgeon, as well as the nursing team, that have rearranged a schedule so that she can see this moment. And that's just part of what we do.
We were there as she spoke to Austin just minutes before approaching the stage.
There he is there. Oh. Hey, baby. Hi.
The whole nursing staff was there by Mrs. Meek's side.
And we feel certain that this will be memorable for this family and for her son and her.
That's awesome. Thank you. I love you. That's the best. Isn't he the best?
In College Station, Amber Treybig, News 3. May 20th, 1991. 37-year-old Jerry Woodard drove out near the Navasota River in eastern Brazos County to go hunting, but never returned home.
That time it was just a gravel dirt road. It wasn't paved like it is now, but the surroundings pretty much the same.
Brazos County criminal investigator Kenny Elliott was on the case nearly 30 years ago and says they searched throughout the woods for days using helicopters, dogs, and four-wheelers, but Woodard was never found. All that was left was his 1983 Buick. Woodard was officially declared missing on May 22, 1991, when his abandoned car was found parked right here on the side of the road.
We do have his vehicle and some other things, but I have to leave it at that.
Nearly 27 years later, a tip led them to reopen the case. An Army veteran and future Aggie grad, Raymond Dilworth says being a student has opened his eyes.
So you still have deadlines, but the time in between is kind of whatever you want to do with it.
The struggles some students may find hard are nothing compared to what Dilworth saw in his military career.
In my Afghanistan trip, I had a grenade go off at my feet, and it injured me, and I was medevaced out and sent back to the United States to recover, and I received a Purple Heart for those wounds.
That didn't stop him. After recovering, Dilworth completed the rest of his time in Special Forces before making his way to Aggieland. Jerry Smith is the director of the Veteran Resources Support Center at A&M.
Some people that have had some of his kinds of experiences may tend to focus on those challenges and raise not.
Dilworth received the Senior Merit Award from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, an award that only a handful of students are honored with.
He's got unlimited potential in his future. And being an Aggie, that just adds to his experience and knowledge base. He will do very well in whatever path lies ahead for him.
I would like to be successful, and I would like to set up, well, at least be part of a world where my kids can have a better world than what I grew up in.
At Texas A&M, Amber Treybig, News 3.